When you wake, your brain is open, more open than it will be for most of the day. In that quiet space between sleep and motion, chemistry settles, attention softens, and your neural pathways are unusually ready to be shaped. This is your window of plasticity, and it's where we begin. Not with the pressure to be perfect, but with the permission to guide what grows. Now, let's name what's happening. Neuroplasticity is your brain's ability to change, structurally and functionally, based on what you do repeatedly. It doesn't wait for a new year, a new job, or a new version of you. It listens to what you practice. Every time you focus, repeat, and refine, the brain adapts so those patterns become easier next time. What fires together, wires together. What you neglect, your brain quietly lets fade. So how does this change occur? At the level of cells, neurons strengthen their connections through a process called long-term potentiation. Signals that travel together more often grow faster, more efficient, more reliable. Think of it like upgrading a dirt path into a paved road. Meanwhile, unused connections weaken through synaptic pruning, the brain's way of clearing clutter so energy can flow where it matters. You are pruning and planting every day, with your attention as the gardener. And because you're a whole human, not a head in a jar, emotion is part of the architecture. When stress dominates, the amygdala raises alarms, and your body prepares to protect. But when you pause, breathe, and name what you're feeling, the prefrontal cortex comes online and steadies the system. With repetition, that regulation becomes a pathway too. Faster to find, easier to trust. You are teaching your nervous system how to come home. From here, notice how attention behaves. Your attention is the steering wheel of neuroplasticity. Wherever you point it repeatedly, your brain invests. If you train frantic switching, it becomes expert at distraction. If you train depth, single tasking, presence, completion, it becomes expert at clarity. This is why the first minutes of your day matter. They tilt the whole system towards scatter or toward focus. And that brings us to the voice in your head, self-talk. Thoughts are not facts, they are signals. Yet the brain learns from repetition, not certainty. If I can't shows up often, avoidance circuits strengthen. If instead, you return, gently but consistently, to I'm learning how, you shift the brain from threat to training. Over time, the default under pressure moves from retreat to approach. That is plasticity you can feel. Meanwhile, your body isn't just along for the ride. Movement, especially rhythmic aerobic movement, boosts neurochemistry that supports learning and mood, elevating factors like BDNF, priming the hippocampus to encode more effectively, and smoothing the edges of stress. A brisk walk, a few mobility flows, a short cycle. These aren't add-ons, they're primers. Pair movement with focused practice, and you give your brain both spark and scaffolding. So let's translate this into a morning you can actually live. Begin with breath, because breath is the shortest path to your state. Inhale through the nose for 4, exhale for 6, 3 rounds. Longer exhales tell your nervous system, we are safe enough to focus. Feel the shoulders soften. Let your gaze widen. You're not checking out, you're tuning in. Next, anchor intention. 1 sentence, clean and true. Today I practice depth. Today I respond, not react. Today I finish the first small step. Keep it short. Your brain follows what it can remember. Then, act within 5 minutes. 1 tiny physical move aligned with that intention. Open the document. Lace the shoes. Fill the glass and lay out the vitamins. Make the first step so small that friction loses interest. As you do, remember how the system evolves throughout life. Children's brains change faster. Broad strokes, many connections. Adult brains change deeper, narrower focus, stronger integration. If you bring deliberate practice, honest rest, and self-compassion, plasticity will meet you at any age. Speed varies, possibility doesn't. Now, let's clear a common myth. Motivation first, action second. In practice, it's the other way around. Small action triggers a dopamine tick, and dopamine nudges you to repeat the behavior. With repetition, myelin wraps around the active circuits, insulating the skill and making it feel natural. This is why "just start" isn't a cliché. It's neurobiology. Action is the ignition. Motivation is often the exhaust. And because challenge is inevitable, we reframe it early. Difficulty is not a verdict, it's a training signal. Muscles grow through strain, so do neural networks. When you meet a hard task and stay at the edge of your ability, not drowned, not bored, you enter the productive zone where learning accelerates. That zone is uncomfortable, yes, but discomfort is not danger. It's a sign you're laying new scaffolding. Still, there's a limit to force. That's where stillness enters. 2 minutes of mindfulness, eyes soft, body grounded, attention on inhale and exhale. Name one sensation you feel, one sound you hear, one thought passing through. You're not eliminating thought, you're uncoupling from it. In that tiny distance, choice returns. The prefrontal cortex lifts above the noise. The hippocampus marks the moment, and you become available to your own life again. Now, tie the threads. Breath, intention, action, movement, stillness. These aren't separate habits. They're one system. Breath sets the state, intention sets the direction, action sets the loop, movement sets the chemistry, stillness sets the signal. Each one makes the others easier. Together, they make change probable. Let's build a simple protocol you can repeat until it runs itself. Wake, sit up, feet to floor, 3 rounds of 4 in, 6 out, whisper your line, stand, 30 to 90 seconds of gentle movement, neck rolls, shoulder circles, hip openers, calf pumps. Then, the smallest possible start on the one thing that matters. 5 lines, 1 email, 1 set, 1 page. When you feel the urge to delay, say, "I show up before I feel like it," and show up for 60 seconds. In those 60 seconds, you flip from intention to identity. You become the kind of person who begins. As the day unfolds, attention will fray. That's normal. Use micro resets. 1 minute between tasks. Breathe. Long exhale. Unclench the jaw. Name the next true step. We're not seeking perfect focus. We're seeking frequent returns. And because your brain filters reality based on what it expects, prime your reticular activating system to notice the useful. Ask a better question. What is one lever I can pull in the next hour? Your brain starts scanning for levers instead of threats. That shift doesn't ignore problems, it equips you to meet them. Now, address the weight you can't lift, everything you cannot control. When you cling to it, other people's choices, random outcomes, yesterday, you keep the amygdala loud and the body tense. When you name it and release it, the nervous system downshifts out of alarm and back into agency. Practice a simple line in the morning. I release what I cannot steer. Then steer what you can. Your breath, your words, your first move. Gratitude belongs here, not as decoration, but as a lover. 3 specifics, not generalities. This sunlight on the table, this text from a friend, this chance to try again. Genuine gratitude synchronizes stress and reward systems, widening perspective and easing reactive bias. It's not pretending everything is good, it's proving not everything is bad. That proof stabilizes you. If discouragement shows up, and it will, remember how learning hides. Progress is lumpy. Circuits strengthen in the background while your conscious mind sees only plateaus. Keep reps small and frequent. Use time-boxed sprints, 25 minutes on, 5 off. Stop while momentum remains. Tomorrow's brain will thank you. And because nights are not empty, include sleep in the plan. During deep sleep, your brain's glymphatic system washes metabolic waste. During REM, networks integrate and reorganize. The lesson you struggled with at noon may knit together at 2 a.m. Protect a simple wind down. Dim lights, no heavy inputs, 2 minutes of slow breathing, one line about what went well, and one line about what you'll touch first in the morning. You're not just ending a day, you're setting a runway. At this point, it helps to craft a few phrases your nervous system can remember under load. Not affirmations you don't believe, but commitments you can enact. I am in control of my thoughts and actions today. When noise rises, return to breath and the next right verb. Challenges are opportunities for growth. When friction appears, you say, training signal, and choose the smallest step. I will focus on what I can control. When the mind points outward, you point it inward, toward the lever you can pull. My effort today shapes my future. When motivation dips, you do 60 seconds anyway and let chemistry catch up. I choose to release what I cannot change. When rumination loops, you write it down, close the page, and return to the task. I will nurture my mind with positive thoughts. Not fantasies, accurate, empowering messages that you can verify with action. I am grateful for this new day. 3 specifics every morning. I am aligned with my purpose. If you're not, you pick one action that moves you 1 inch closer. I am ready to receive the good this day brings. You prime attention to notice support, solutions, and small wins. These are not magic spells, they are instructions. When paired with behavior, they become identity. Now, let's choreograph a short Neuro Primer you can complete in 6 minutes. Minute 1, breathe, 4 in, 6 out, while noticing the weight of your body on the chair. Minute 2, write your one-line intention and the first tiny action that proves it. Minute 3, stand and move, hips, shoulders, ankles, unlock the chain. Minute 4, visualize 90 seconds of you doing the first step. Sensory detail, calm face, steady breath. Then do 10 seconds of that step. Minute 5, gratitude. Write 3 specifics and 1 person you'll thank. Minute 6, begin the smallest possible version of your real work. If resistance flares, shrink the step again. Repeat this primer for 7 mornings and watch what changes. You're not trying to win the day with willpower, you're trying to win the first 5 minutes with design. Design beats mood. As you build, keep an eye on the friction points. Cluttered cues, vague tasks, late nights, endless notifications. Each one is a pruning opportunity. Put what you want to do where you'll trip over it. Hide what you don't want to do where laziness protects you. Specificity is kindness. Workout becomes put on shoes and walk 3 blocks. Write becomes open document and type 1 paragraph. Be present becomes phone in drawer for 20 minutes. You are removing decisions, not removing freedom. If you stumble, don't turn a slip into a story. Missed a day, notice it without judgment and restart with the smallest step. The brain updates from reps, not from shame. If anything, use the stumble as a signal to reduce complexity. Sustainable beats impressive. And when the day surprises you, because life does, use the 90-second reset. Step away, inhale on 4, exhale on 6, shoulders down, name the next lever, and move your body once. This is not an escape, it's a re-entry. Before we close, return to the morning window. Place your cue tonight, a notebook on the pillow, shoes by the door, a glass of water within reach. When you wake, don't negotiate. Sit up, feet to floor, breath first. Whisper your line. Begin your smallest step. In 70 seconds, you'll have moved from intention to identity again. Repeat tomorrow. Repeat the day after that. The repetition is the result. And if your mind asks, how long until this is easy? Remind it, it gets easier as you do it. Myelin wraps with reps. Circuits speed up with practice. Emotions settle with proof. Your job is to give proof every day in tiny ways that you are becoming who you intend to be. So let this be the closing thread you carry into the light. You are not waiting to change. You are changing each time you breathe on purpose. Aim your attention, take one honest step, and return when you wander. Your brain is listening. Your life is listening. And both are willing to follow.